Ladies and gentlemen, Vidovdan, it's Charles, decked out of my American flag to read the Serbian news for today. Today is Monday, July 1st, and there's a lot of things been going on in Serbia, and I haven't uploaded, excuse me, how rude, I haven't uploaded any videos for a bit because I've been busy. I've been busy and my internet has been really bad. So let's get started. This is some stuff that's going on in like the last week here. First of all, the best news out there for somebody like myself, Air Serbia has just approved, and Alexander Vucic and Michael Kirby, the American ambassador, have just stated that the FAA, the Federal Aviation Administration in the United States, has upped Serbia as a Category 1 country, and that will now allow direct flights from Chicago to Belgrade. So that's fantastic. That's going to start in 2015, late in 2015. So it'll be a quick way for me to get home. They said they chose Chicago as the first city because it's an enormous Serbian city with around 400,000 Serbian people. So that's good news for Air Serbia. Thank you. Vojislav Seselj, the leader of the Serbian Radical Party, has been somewhat of a blackout here in the media, they said. Vojislav Seselj is due to be possibly released here very, very soon. They thought maybe on June 28th, which is Vidovdan here in Serbia, and a very, very, very significant holiday here in Serbia, but he's not been released yet. There's some stipulations that The Hague is putting on Serbia. They said that he must be under home arrest with no phones, take his passport, and on home confinement. He cannot have any contact with any of the witnesses and such, and he's not too thrilled about that, and I think it's actually wrong also, in my opinion. They did the same thing, kind of, I heard, with Tito's wife, Jovanka Tito. For years she was under house arrest, and she wasn't allowed to speak out publicly on different things. I think it's a tragedy, actually, but I'll keep you updated. Nikolic, Tomislav Nikolic, the Serbian president, he met with a delegation from Pope, what's his name? Pope, oh my God. Jesus. Pope Francis, oh my gosh, I couldn't even remember your name. Your Highness, Your Holiness, whatever you are. He met with a delegation. The Vatican had donated a large amount of money for the Serbian flood victims here, and he has welcomed the Pope into Serbia along with Vucic. And they had claimed there's disagreements between Serbia and the Vatican, of course. Serbia is an Orthodox nation, of course, and the Roman Catholic Church is their biggest rival, I guess you would say, maybe. And they said there's two big disagreements that they would try to just agree to disagree on, and that's Cardinal, what was his name? The Croat Cardinal Stepanic, who is a very brutal, evil man, that the Catholic Church is getting ready to name him a cardinal. And that's a big no-no here in Serbia, and for a lot of the Gypsy and the Jewish population, they're not too thrilled about that. And also the stance on World War II, there's differing views on that. But the Vatican still does not support the independence of Kosovo, so that's one good news, I guess. Vucic has been in Germany. Alexander Vucic, he was quoted as saying he's ready to be a sincere and open partner with Germany. He stated that in the trade between Serbia and Germany has been around $3 billion, and that was up 14% from last year, so he's showing that things are going well, and relations are well. And he also has stated, which I thought was kind of funny, there's zero tolerance for political corruption here in Serbia now. So I believe that when I see it, Mr. Vucic. And they're saying that since Serbia and Vucic is on this march, they could possibly see themselves joining the European Union in 2018, 19, or 2020. We'll wait and see on that one. Next, Belgrade on the water. Beautiful program that's being funded by Mohammed Al-Abar from the United Arab Emirates. He's an Arab businessman. He's donating investing 3 to 4 billion euros into this beautiful thing along the Danube there. And they say, Vucic says it's not just a pipe dream, he said. This is going to be significant steps are going to be made, significant things are going to be built by 2016. The key to the whole thing is a big Belgrade tower, they say, and they're also going to make the Balkans' largest shopping mall. So it'd be really nice. They said they're building a couple hotels, and they're changing where they're putting the bus station, and so it'll be beautiful. Hopefully this will continue. 61, this is a little bit of funny news. A 61-year-old grandma in Niš had stopped a robbery. I guess a robber broke into her home with a mask and a gun, and she was able to take the gun and rip his mask off. So you never mess with a Serbian grandma. She knew the guy after she did it. She talked him down, and they called the police, and he was arrested. So don't mess with a Serbian grandma. What else is going on? 3 people were indicted for war crimes against Serbs yesterday. 2 were a Bosnian and 1 was a Croatian. In the eastern part of Sarajevo, in a place called Trnovo, there was around, they said, around 90 Serbians that were executed. And it was the youngest was about 18 months old, and the oldest was around an 80-year-old grandmother, they stated. So terrible. But they've indicted some people. There's been a lot of proof. There was some video evidence and stuff. So they forwarded that on to whomever. So hopefully something will get finished about it. And last but not least, we just celebrated, as I stated earlier, Vidovdan here in Serbia. One of the most historic dates in all of Serbian history is June 28th. And that's the date of the Battle of Kosovo in 1389. That's when Prince Lazar and his small little group of Serbians, they state between what, maybe 15,000 and 20,000 Serbians, fought against around 40,000 Turks. And Milos Obric was able to kill Sultan Murad, which was really unheard of. But it's the start in the like a part in Serbia, a date in Serbia that really brought about patriotism and faith, and their love for their faith happened starting in 1389 on the 28th. So we had celebrated that. I actually went to Sarajevo, to a little village. I was in Kragujevac for a demonstration for Palestinian kids. And then I took a 5.5-hour bus trip down to Sarajevo. From Kragujevac to Sarajevo. Sarajevo's right south of Niš. It should have been a 2-hour trip. It took 5.5 hours. We went from Kragujevac down to Kruševac, to Kraljevo, to Blace, to Prakuplje. Oh my God, I kept asking people on the bus, when are we going to arrive? I said, when do I get to Niš? They said, oh, 2 hours. I said, fuck, it's been 5. You know. So anyway, I went down there to celebrate. Everything was over. But it's a big day here in Serbia all the same. Also, Gavrilo Princip, which those of you who know a little bit about history, he is the one that assassinated Archduke Ferdinand. And many claim that it was the reason that World War II started. But there was a quote. In East Sarajevo, they've erected a statue, a monument of him on the Serbian side. And here's a little quote from Nebojša Radmanović, who's part of the Republika Srpska Serbian government. He said, Gavrilo Princip's shot was a shot for freedom. His shot was a prelude to what some Europeans were preparing for years. And Serbs emerged from war as winners. So if you look at it from the Serbian standpoint, many of us from different places, we see him as being maybe a terrorist, killing somebody. But it was a shot for freedom, to get rid of oppression from them. So they look at it as a sign of a heroic act. And the whole world, really, this is the 100th year anniversary of World War I. And many Serbians and even the Serbian government they're down in Bosnia. It was going to have like the 100-year reunion commemoration of World War I. And I guess in one of the buildings they was going to do this big commemoration. It had some anti-Serb slant and some little sign on the outdoor that mentioned something negative towards Serbia. So the Serbian delegation refused to attend. I don't blame them at all for that. I think it was a good move. But anyway, that's something you'll hear. And what else? I think that's about it, my friends. That's what's going on here in Serbia, and I will talk to you soon. Don't be genius.